Welcome students. Now we are going to discuss about chapter number 2, that is microorganism, our friends and foe. So the first thing that we need to know that what is microorganism. From the name we can reveal that microorganism, in the case of microorganism, they can be divided into two parts. First one is micro, second one is organism. If we think about the micro, then micro is so small animals. Micro means very small. So if we write that micro means very small and organism means living things. So if we join the two part of the name, that is microorganism, so we can get that small, very small living things, they can be termed as microorganism. So microorganisms are such small that we cannot see normally. We cannot see the microorganism with our naked eyes. So if we cannot see the microorganism with our naked eyes, then we need an instrument to see the microorganism. The instrument is called microscope. The instrument that we see, that we need to see the microorganism, the instrument is called microscope. Now if we classify all the microorganisms into different groups, then we can get there are four major classes of microorganism. These four major classes are bacteria, fungi, protozoa and algae. These are the four major classes of microorganism that we can see. We cannot see by our naked eyes, so we use microscope to see these microorganisms. Here another microorganism is present, that is called virus. But if you can see that we take the virus out of the classes or out of the box of this bacteria, fungi, protozoa and algae, because virus is those types of microorganism which normally they are not alive, but when these virus enter into any living organism, then they become alive and they perform their activities inside the living organism, but outside the living organism they are present as a dead thing. That is why virus is not directly classified into the four major groups of microorganism. So what are the four major groups of microorganism? Bacteria, fungi, protozoa and algae. This microorganism can cause some of this microorganism can cause disease in our body, and some of the microorganism they are beneficial for our normal lifestyle, for our living. We will discuss this harmfulness or benefitness in the latter part of the chapter. Now after that, let's talk about the size of the microorganism, or rather their shape of the microorganism. All the microorganisms, they are classified into two major groups. Some microorganisms they are single celled, some microorganisms they are multi-celled. So single celled microorganism is called unicellular and multi-celled microorganism is called multicellular. What are the example of this? Single cell microorganism can be bacteria, it can be protozoa, it can be algae, and multi-cell microorganism, it can be algae, it can be fungi. One thing you should notice that this algae, this organism, I have written in both the case, that is in case of unicellular or single cell and in case of multi-cell, because algae is a group of organism which can be found in single celled organism, which also can be found in multi-celled organism. That means algae can be unicellular as well as it can be multicellular. So unicellular algae are different and multicellular algae are different. Now let's talk about where these microorganisms are found, that is the occurrence of the microorganism in our environment. If we think about that occurrence or where the microorganisms are found, we can see that this microorganism can found in a vast range of environment or vast range of climate. It can be found from ice cold climate to hot spring. That means huge range of temperature can be covered by this microorganism. This microorganism can be found from desert area to marshy land. In that case also we can see that huge range of temperature also covered in this head. Now some microorganism they can be found inside the body of organism. The organism that can found inside the body of the organism, they are basically of parasite. They are called endoparasite because they found inside the body. Same on the same way, some microorganism they can grow on other organism. So these are also parasite, but they as they are grow on other organism, that is they grow outside the organism, so they are called ectoparasite. Microorganism can exist freely. That means if in case of multicellular organism, single organism can exist in the nature. This microorganism can live alone, such like amoeba. Amoeba is unicellular organism, but they are found in nature as freely. That means single cell can exist in the microorganism, or in some case in some microorganism they are found in colonies. Colonies means more than one single cell or multi-cell microorganism, they reside together, they present together by a covering. So these are called the colonies. So microorganism can be found in all these types of environment, all these types of possibilities.